do you want to introduce the episode? You never have.
Yeah, I'm always bad at introducing. I've tried it like once or twice and it's never gone smoothly.
So you don't want to try it?
Nah, I'm good for now.
Yeah, I'm not as witty as Muspel. Like,
Tired.
I'm not gonna have any.
Dear.
Okay. I'm just gonna go. I'm just gonna freestyle, be myself. What can go?
Oh dear. you being yourself is always concerning.
Okay. Listen, I need to just get into my professional podcast voice. Okay, can't have me laughing like this.
Oh no.
Hey, welcome everyone to yet another podcast episode. We are a bit of a slim crew today. It's just me and Dream. Dream,
Hi.
say come bucket.
No.
Oh, no is fine too. I thought it was like better than hi because at least when Muspel asks us to say hi, I'm suspecting he has something up his sleeve. But when I ask you to say come bucket, like that's coming from the heart, right?
Oh dear. Let's just get on with it.
So, were you surprised when you saw the news for this banner?
A little, from the first of the month thing where we saw that there was no DV news. I figured there might be something up, but yeah, it was interesting to sort of finally get this after such a delay.
Are we getting this instead of DV?
For this month, yes. This is the DV of the month, effectively.
Okay, interesting. All right. Well, we're kind of jumping the gun here, or no, wait, that's not right. Okay, never mind. We're kind of getting ahead of ourselves, is what I wanted to say. Let's talk about the units, though. So what we actually did get was the Seiken sorry, not the Seiken Densetsu. The Trials of Mana is what it's actually called in the re-release.
Okay.
We got that collab. Remember when we were talking about this collab back when Zidane was released, and we were like, yeah but Hawkeye is coming soon. Yeah, well.
Yeah.
Hawkeye's here.
Yeah, he finally made it. He's a little late, but...
I mean, obviously we all assume we wouldn't get it, because I guess Seiken isn't a super popular series in the West, and we just assumed it was skipped. Why do you think it came back, but, this late?
I don't know. I guess they heard people wanted Vision World, because for the event type, and wanted Hawkeye, but didn't really execute on that properly.
Yeah. Now you're spoiling it. Yeah, but true. Yeah, but I mean,
we cannot read the minds of Gumi.
No, we can't. And I mean,
I mean, for collab, it's probably more like Square Enix higher ups, whatever.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, it could just be this. Hey, could you do this for free? Because we hope it's gonna kick sales. I don't know. Yeah. It was just weird to get it so off. It's not aligned with the actual release of Trials of Mana. That should have been before.
Yeah, the timing.
It's honestly coming right out of nowhere. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's just weird. Okay, but yeah, it is Trials of Mana, right? It does bring a lot of interesting goodies with it. And one really weird thing they did was, of course, that there is no NVA on this banner, because they made the NVA an NV base. That's pretty interesting, I guess.
We'll get to her in a bit. Probably.
We will get to her, but let's talk about the
not brush over Hawkeye. The one who was originally supposed to be the featured, the big cheese of this banner, has kind of fallen behind, because
he was the thing, the talk of the town in JP for quite a while, right? Hawkeye was a big favorite for a long time. But yeah, sorry. So go ahead. What has happened with Hawkeye?
Well, because of his lateness, he got some global exclusive buffs, right?
Right.
And those buffs were increasing his defense break from 87 to 90, and...
Not bad.
And...
Well, okay. He did get 500 attack on EX3.
Oh yeah, I legitimately forgot what the other upgrade was. He got EX2 and EX3 skills, the very standard format auto LB at EX2, 500 attack at EX3.
But here's the kicker, right? So Hawkeye was always a LB finisher, right?
LB chainer.
Oh, sorry, LB chainer, actually. Oh, shit, wait. Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. So he was always an LB chainer, but he burst really hard with his LB. He did comparable damage to Zidane. I think people were saying Zidane could like beat him slightly, but since he was like 20
Mm.
times easier to use, people liked him more anyway.
Yeah, compared to Zidane, he has much less issues with like filling his LB and general rotation stuff,
Yeah,
but
he
he
only
still
ramps
need.
twice and nothing else, so yeah.
Well, that's the same stack as Zidane, but like he
Oh,
gets
okay.
true shift and his LB costs what 40 or 60 instead of 90, and
Yeah.
he has a good chain that fills it. He's still like similar to Zidane, still needs like quite a lot of external buff support.
So it's interesting we're comparing this unit to Zidane, a unit that is like completely
Yeah, and
irrelevant in the meta.
herein lies the problem with the amount of buffs he got or didn't get. He is
Yeah.
still comparable to Zidane in a meta that's months beyond Zidane.
Right. And that's the big problem because his LB didn't get any buffs. And yes, it's like it's a relatively high mod, right? 280 max, but
Yeah,
his
what's that?
stats are too low, so that, or well, when comparing with Sephiroth and Tifa and Lara, so meaning that he will never actually get even close to their damage output, even though the
Yeah.
mod is decent.
Plus, he has like no element amp. His attack buff is subpar if you don't externally buff that.
Yeah.
And because his LB is stacking, he has all of these lovely different imperils for like 5 different elements, and he can't really use any of them because they all also have stacking mods which will reset his LB stack.
Yeah, which is a shame because they are actually, it's quite nice to have this many elements, but on the
Yeah,
other hand, he
exactly.
can't imbue himself. So I
Yeah.
don't know how much good those elements are. And
But
and
as a
and
dual wielder, he like could use an elemental weapon. But I don't know. The stacking thing is probably it's the thing that I find the dumbest about his overall design.
yeah, yeah, it's just like it's Sephiroth and Tifa. They just had too little skills, so Alim couldn't fuck them up. That's the thing. Like
Yeah.
they couldn't mess it up. But here's like, oh, we should do this stacking thing, and then they forgot their own mechanic. But here's the thing. So even if you give this dude a massage therapist, a speech therapist, a fucking hand job, bro job, rim job, all the fucking jobs in the book, and you give him the amps and everything, he's still gonna underperform heavily compared to what we are used to now. Just because of, I
He
guess,
could,
raw stats.
yeah, like because of the 90% defense break with DV passive stats being so low, like maybe he could be worth a slot, but like
If
that's if you don't have Lara,
exactly,
and
because that's the thing.
even
That
then,
slot goes to Lara. That's the thing.
yeah, and even then, like Venera or Crowned Lock can like be that slot almost as good, even if it's a
Yeah.
bit weaker.
Well, okay. Well, comparing to Venera and Crown Lock, obviously this dude is gonna hit harder. He is.
Yeah,
It's just
yeah,
that
but
it's nowhere like it's nowhere close Lara levels. Like I was
yeah,
asking in the Discord the other day or earlier today, but I just didn't check if I got any answers. Was whether anyone did like full blown whale calcs for Hawkeye, like all fucking out. And I don't know if anyone did yet. But
no, I estimated it like just kind of roughly and
mm,
figured it would get to around maybe like 6 billion or something, which is like certainly less than half of Sephiroth and stuff.
yeah, because that's like less than Wiki Sephiroth, right? With the Wiki restrictions,
Yeah, a little
meaning
bit
that
lower than Wiki Sephiroth.
yeah, meaning that full
Whale
blown
Sephiroth
Sephiroth is gonna do
goes
twice.
somewhere between 15 and 20 billion trillion first.
That's like so stupid
But
high.
so yeah,
So unfortunate,
his
unfortunate.
damage is very mediocre at best,
Yeah,
which is a bit of
I
a
guess
shame.
like, and people have been calling him a walking SDMR, and I guess that's the case because let's do this backwards, or
Yeah,
I like to go.
we'll do the must pull section in
Let's do the
honor of
Muspel
him.
section. So actually, I'm getting ahead of myself again. Let's talk about his TMR. So his TMR is
Hmm.
actually pretty decent.
Yeah,
It's a demon killer clothes, right? Clothes,
yeah,
yes,
with good attack.
which is nice. That's
Yeah.
good to have. You can bust that out whenever fighting demons. Um, and then we have his STMR, which is a copy of Sora's STMR, meaning it's
Hmm.
actually really strong. It's a really, really good
80%
STMR.
attack, 75% LB damage. It's
Right.
very, very slot efficient.
So that's good, right? And I guess
Yep.
that's really the big draw of him.
I guess so at this
You're
point.
getting an STMR. That's it.
Yeah. And I mean, like, again, if you don't have a 90% defense breaker, you would use him, probably.
Yeah.
But, like, I'm in that situation, and that's still not enough to make me actually want to pull for him.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. I mean, it's obvious. Let's not sugarcoat it. It's obvious that he is the troll of the banner. He was designed to be the troll. Because Sinzar said this once, and I really believe him. Because I don't think Alim or Gumi are idiots. Specifically Gumi in this case, I guess, because they were the ones buffing the units, right? I think they know how their game works, and this is deliberate. Hawkeye is sorry.
Debatable at times.
Yeah, I guess, but this time I don't think. I think it's very clear that Hawkeye is just supposed to be the troll of the banner.
Yeah.
Like he got some meaningless upgrades just so that people wouldn't scream that Hawkeye didn't get upgrades, but he is very, very bad.
It feels like there is a lack of effort put into these upgrades.
Yeah, maybe in general, because that's going to come up when we talk about the next unit, right?
I'll get to that with Angela as well.
So let's talk about Angela, because they have the same vision cards. We can do the vision card after both of them, right?
Yep, that's true.
Okay, so Angela is a bikini sorceress. Yeah, we should probably not put gender on things like that anymore. She's a bikini sorcerer, and is really fucking strong.
Yeah, she has some caveats, but can certainly be good.
Or theoretically really fucking strong is maybe what I should have said. But no, but I mean, like, she bursts really hard. They took an NVA. She was an NVA, and she was entirely different. So if I remember this correctly from the news day, Sinzar said that in JP she has a 800x non-elemental magic AoE LB, which in most cases is entirely useless. But he was telling that there are these special cases where there were bosses that were weak to non-elemental damage and none of the elements.
Just the ones in this vision world.
Yeah, no, he did say there was. He did say it returned. The concept did return.
Oh, okay.
So she would get a slot again.
Still, it's funny that the only way that they made this possible was deliberately adding 300% elementless weakness to bosses.
Yeah. Well, hey, it's an interesting thing, because it kind of... I'm not totally against the whole non-elemental bosses thing, because it kind of turns it on its head. We're not using our standard units anymore, because amps don't matter anymade and so on. So it could be interesting.
I would prefer that the units kit made them good in just a general scenario with elementless damage, rather than having to have bosses specifically designed for them.
Yeah. I mean, that's the bad part, right? It's like, oh, you have to have this unit because she will help you destroy this trial, kind of, right?
It's like two
and since the resistances are so high and the imperil is so high to non-elemental, any unit with a tied-in element is of course screwed here, because Sephiroth, Tifa, they all unfortunately are element locked on their LBs and will do a lot less damage. So yeah, there's that. But anyway, sorry, I'm getting ahead of ourselves again because I just can't stop it. But what is Angela doing? What's she doing, Dream?
Well, the big GL change to her LB is that it's now a physical type attack, but with magic damage, obviously. So it's now imbuable. And it lost a bit of mod, but it still stacks up to 635, which is the highest non-morale mod LB that we've seen so far.
That's very high. I was actually saying this in the news day. So obviously this is another, proof that Gumi uses me for inspiration when they design units. But I was wishing this, hey, they could fix Angela by making her imbuable on her LB. Sure. And that's nice. It's a very high mod. But Dream, tell us why it's a fucking hassle to stack it 5 times.
Yeah. I mean, that's the starting thing. You have to stack it 5 times, and her shift duration's not bad. It's a 4-turn shift with a 1-turn cooldown, so 4 out of 5 turns she'll be in her shift form. But she doesn't have that much in the way of, like, self-LB filling abilities. So you'll need, like, a lot of external support to stack it up quickly, and also in fights that, you want to stack it up, you have to worry about not accidentally killing what you're fighting first.
Yeah, exactly, because it does
Because
get very strong.
Yeah, and I believe LBs you can't retarget onto your own team.
No, you can't. Those are impossible. So you're gonna have to target the boss. So either you do like some type of weird trick where you imbue her with the wrong element or something.
Yeah.
Or
reflect buffs onto the boss to make it tankier. That's a thing that's been done.
Try to do something at least to kind of get it through. But the thing is, so even if the LP is not that expensive. It's only 40, meaning that a unit like Ling could fill it 5 times in a row. I guess, between Grandis and everything else, she could easily do it. But the thing is, so it's at least 6 turns, right? So even in your perfect rotation,
at least 6, probably 7 or 8, more realistically.
Yeah,
and that's still with rushing it a lot.
So it's a lot of hassle, but of course a lot of firepower. It's a very high modifier. 635x makes her, when we look at wiki parameters, burst higher than Sephiroth. Of course,
once she's stacked
we all know Sephiroth grows quite large.
Yeah, he's 70 for scale, a lot more with EX levels and stuff.
Yeah, but still, it's a very strong unit, and she does have a pretty cool sprite. So
and her passives are good, so she gears reasonably well, I think.
Yeah.
One slight bother is she has imperils and stuff for 5 different elements, but only fire actually has an imbue and an amp and stuff. So that's the only element her native kit properly supports.
Right.
But obviously you can do it externally as well with other buffers.
Which is very nice. I mean, I think that a lot of people getting her, if we, I don't know, we would have needed Sinzar here to kind of understand the DV meta going forward. How often will we get late stage, hard to cap bosses that are magic? Because if we do, obviously, this unit is a must bring, because she does a lot of damage, and you can imbue her with any element, meaning she will always be relevant.
Yeah. The main thing with DV is always the final boss, and that's always both physical and magic.
Yeah. And then, of course, you're not bringing her... Well, I mean, you
actually
might in this case.
The thing. But I think one of the main problem with some of the DVs going forward is some of them will just permanently buff their defense and spirit after the 4th turn and stuff, so you can't do those slow full stack Angela use Zidane song and stuff.
Oh, that's interesting, actually. That's very interesting. Well, I mean, it sucks for Angela, but I like that. They should do that to just mix it up a bit.
Yeah, variety is good.
Variety is good, and also I hate 12 turn clears, so it's I'm all good with being forced to do it in 4 turns.
Doing 10 turn ones for the last cow multiple times kind of killed me a bit.
Yeah, definitely. So tell me though, this is, I think this is what you meant when you talked about before that there was a lot of low effort put into, upgrading these units, because Angie was normally, or was originally an NVA.
Yeah, because JP had previous SD banners where they were released as 5 to 7 stars and stuff. So she wasn't a new release with Hawkeye like in GL.
And you can really tell that by her base LB being a whopping, 65 mod.
Yeah, her base form in general is very obvious because it's the old pattern of where they have the old mage pattern of having 3 elements, and then they have a version of each at 5 star, a version of each at 6 star, and a version of each at 7 star or whatever. And she's similar to that, and they're all just crammed at level 1 on her NV, and just are very redundant. And then the base form LP is a big one. 65 elementless magic that isn't imbuable.
Yeah. And
the funny thing is, it is actually different to her JP one. They increased the break percent by 10% from 74 to 84. But they just didn't touch the mod.
And it's interesting because 84 is still irrelevant, unfortunately. Yeah. But so
and the other thing you can look at the other thing you can look at is like her base magic stats, where the shift form is like increased to a proper NV base level, but the normal form ones are still very much like more NVA level base magic.
Right.
So there's just like a lack of cleanup.
Yeah, they didn't really design a unit. They took a unit that existed and just bumped the shit out of her base form or shift form LB. That's what they did. And
Mostly,
bam,
yeah.
you got Angela.
Well, the fire skill that does her like imbue and amp,
yeah.
that's all new as well.
Yeah, it is 50% amp, which is the standard now for self amps for the main element. So that's nice.
having 50% on demand is maybe like a little above normal standard, but yeah, I mean it's a good ability for supporting her own elements.
But is it really is it unique? Because I feel every damage dealer has 50 self.
Yeah,
or most of the new ones.
Most of the global exclusive ones have been a bit more available with it, but I'm thinking Sephiroth and Tifa have it, but only on a one-use Grandis. So
yeah,
whereas this is on demand and also does chaining damage.
True. Okay, but yeah, so
anyway.
she's you're not gonna be sad if you pick her up. You might even bring her to final stage bosses. It depends on how many other units you have. So, for instance, if you're sitting with Lara, Tifa, and Sephiroth, then it becomes difficult to slot in Angela, right? But if you're not sitting with these three units, or there's room for even more bursters that don't bring any other utility, then absolutely she might actually find a slot on her team, because I think that
she's certainly good enough to be used sometimes.
Yeah, and it is true, right? After Sephiroth, Lara, and Tifa, she would be number 4, right? Is there anyone else doing more damage?
Maybe with Carton's Grandis, he's probably pretty
Oh shit,
up there
Carton
as well.
is probably strong. Oh yeah, I forgot Carton entirely. That's 100% true. But yeah, okay, so number 5 then, because I don't think anyone else is around that damage level anymore.
A lot of the times, probably top 5.
She probably beat Sky, right?
That one might be kind of close, but yeah, probably.
And I mean, and Kurasame and Cyan, they're kind of in the same level, so yeah.
Usually she'll be able to beat those, I think.
Question is, does new Hawkeye beat that Kurasame Cyan levels of burst?
I don't think so now.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Whale, of course, when we're talking Whale.
Yeah, if you give them both external buffs and stuff, then I don't think so now.
Yeah. Okay. Well, at least we've gone over the units.
He wouldn't be that far behind though.
Okay, so he's around there. Yeah, it's still a shame. I'm just, hey, let's be honest here. The reason why I think it's a shame is because I shittered him on Banner.
Whereas I did the same with Angela.
Yeah, you lucky bastard. Because I also bought 4 temples on her Banner. Or, sorry, not 4 temples. I bought 4 steps on her thingamajig, and I got nothing. So
I got it from using the 10 out of 10 NV tickets.
Oh wow, that's very nice. I got Hawkeye though. The first ticket on Banner, I got Hawkeye. So that was
nice.
Very much shitter. And this was before I read people's take and the data mine. So I was like, oh wow, nice. I got a Trials of Mana unit. I was actually pretty happy. So I went into Discord, see okay, so what's the deal? And then I got immediately super disappointed.
I mean, did you get Lara?
Oh yeah, I did get Lara.
Yeah. Right. Everyone except me got Lara. I forgot.
yeah. I have Lara DX2, so he is really no. There's no room for him
you won't use it much.
Yeah, and if I get no, go ahead.
Just one thing with Hawkeye that I forgot to mention earlier. We mentioned he was an LB chainer, and his frames for that are triple absolute mirror of equity, which isn't used that much anymore, to be honest. So you might find it hard to find a partner for him as well.
Yeah, I can't even think of someone that would give you triple absolute mirror, because you can find people that'll give you now triple BS, triple SR maybe.
Yeah, it's CWA aren't too all pretty easy, but mirror is getting a bit less common.
Yeah, it's actually really difficult. Like you'd have to. I mean, you're probably like if you really really have to do it, then you could like weave it into two ARs or something. Does mirror? Oh yeah, and mirror has weird frames, so it actually doesn't weave that well into like um, BS because it has so quick frames.
Yeah, I don't think it's great for bolting thread, but I think it might be alright for AR because it doesn't have like
Oh yeah, for AR
overlap.
is no problems because AR is just four frame delay continuously. Like
I
after you
think
cast the
Mirror
first
was
one.
like 6.
Mirror is six, and then bolting is 8 or 9 or some shit, or
Yeah,
10.
I think so.
No, SR is
Might
10. SR is 10.
Yeah, I think SR is 10 but overlaps a fair bit. I think bolting
Yeah,
is 9.
yeah, something like that. So it's actually that's a good point. Like that's unless you're bringing two Hawkeyes, that might be tricky. Or you're of course running with like double AR or something.
I wonder,
But
you
let's.
might also be able to do something with those chain coins. I don't know.
Oh yeah, true,
I still
true.
haven't actually ever used those.
Me neither, actually. I've never needed to use them, but they are a good option. I just the other day I was struggling. Actually, let's talk about it because I was struggling with the Vision World. So do you want to
Well,
jump into it?
We need to do the Mossball section for Angela.
Okay, see, this. It's good that you're here because I keep forgetting Muscle section. All right, so is what about what's her
So
TMR? It's
her TMR is just a robe with pretty high magic and some light and dark resist. You probably won't use it much, but
Yeah,
like
like
it's not
compared to
terrible.
like, yeah, I mean when you compare it to upgraded Toto, uh like
Yeah,
this is
yeah,
65
stuff like
magic
Ministers
versus
Code.
85, so yeah, it's like yeah.
The STMR is probably more likely to see use. That's 70% magic, 50% magic TDH, and charm resist.
Yeah.
So
And
like
it's
I get
100% charm, so like that
yeah,
could
hundred
actually see
percent.
some use.
Yeah, so that's nice as like an alternative if you don't have more lock STMR or lock TMRs, or you need efficient charm resist on a mage. And in
Yeah.
general, like it's a good combo of magic and magic TDH. 50% might often be kind of awkward, but like
Yeah.
maybe on someone who needs 200%, you combine it with the 150 from Starlight Elena's STMR.
Right. Right.
Or if they have 300 with regular Elena's STMR.
But I mean, it's not
Yeah,
great, but it's not bad either. Like it might
it's
see some
it's a
use.
fairly solid block of stats.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Stat wise, it is efficient.
yeah. And then the vision card we mentioned with Hawkeye is interesting because originally this was just Hawkeye's card because Angela was an NVA. So I
Right.
think in JP it was 80% attack, like 110 attack, 80% attack with a dagger, and then 50% LB damage for mana units. And then because they've wanting to make it a card for both Hawkeye and Angela, it's actually gotten quite a lot of buff. So it's now 110 attack and magic, which makes it the best hybrid card in the game, and 80% attack and magic unconditional now, and then the same 50% LB damage.
Which means that if we ever get a hybrid unit, this could be like the best card for them.
No, Starlight Elena buff's coming any day now.
Yeah, I am sure. I'm breathing that copium so deeply, my friend. It's like I really hope she gets
I
some
will
EX abilities.
speak it into existence.
Yeah. But
Anyway,
yeah,
so yeah, good
it
card.
is a good card though. It's definitely not bad. Shame that the LB is mana only, but I mean, it's a solid card
Yeah,
overall.
like often won't be quite best in slot for like base attackers and magics, but it's still like very up there, and yeah, best hybrid card.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so now that we've done the Muspel bit, let's talk about the new, I guess, DV format. Let's just call it new DV format because that's technically what it is, right?
Collab DV, aka World of Visions.
Right, right. And this, so as we said in the beginning of the episode, this actually replaces our month or this month's DV. So we're not getting any
Mm-hmm.
DV this month. This is the event that we're
Yeah.
getting instead. It's technically a DV. It works
It
exactly the
well,
same as a DV.
it's basically a fusion of DV and a Chronicle battle, kind of.
Yeah, because we're grinding for gear. That's a good point.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, that is true. And of course the rewards are quite different. Let's talk about the rewards first,
yeah,
shall we?
Yeah, well, because on the DV side of things, there's the gear, and then the ranking rewards is one thing that is very obviously updated.
Yes, very, and in fact, it's a bit buffed compared to JP. I heard Censar say as well.
Slightly, I think the lapis doesn't drop off quite as fast.
Right, right. So let's talk about it. Like the number one ranked person in this event is going to get 200,000 lapis. That's
that's a lot.
Wow. That's a lot. I would burn that on the day I got it. Let's not kid around. No, but okay, so that's a lot. Number 2 to number 10 get 150, number 11 to 50 get 50k, 51 to 100 get 30k, 101 to 300 get 10k, actually 101 to 500 get 10k, and then 501 to 1000 get 5k, with the exception of number 777 that gets 7,777 lapis. A bit funny.
Eternally fuck the last digit of your lapis count.
Yeah. But that does mean, like, if you score top 1,000 in this event, you're getting 5k lapis. That's no joke.
Yeah,
that's a very nice sum.
Increased motivation and stuff.
But that also means this event will be incredibly hard and competitive.
Be more competitive.
Absolutely. I definitely think so.
The other thing is that the dark matter amounts for every tier are increased by a lot. Like, all the way down to 2,000, everyone gets 2k dark matter, and then it's like 1k for all the way down until like 10,000, with another 7777 dark matter opportunity at rank 7777.
And I feel like the Super Trust Moogle tickets this generous on normal DV2?
No, I think they're buffed a bit as well, but like, I don't know, at that point I don't see the rest of the stuff as being like super impactful. But
yeah, the EX tickets can go fuck themselves.
Yeah, most of the other things are still increased a bit as well.
Yeah.
And anyway, I'm hoping, because regular DV rewards also, like in JP, got buffed after this Vision World, I think it was. And so that is now obviously overdue by a couple DVs for us.
Oh, okay.
But I think it wasn't like this high on the lapis, but I think there was still some lapis for top 1k and the much higher dark matter. So I'm hoping that our regular DVs going forward, we will now have the buffed DV rank rewards.
That would be very nice. So, like, I like the way you called it a collab DV. I've never seen it like that before, but that's actually what it is. That's a very good description.
Because the Vision Worlds are always for the collabs.
Right. And what we're actually getting is like DV bosses, but every boss is themed with, battle theme music and everything from the actual game that we're collabing.
Yeah, I think that's the coolest part about Vision Worlds, is how much flavor they have from the game.
And I really like that. I haven't played Trials of Mana, but I still recognize a lot of the sprites from the Seiken Densetsu 3 ROM hack that I used to play when I was a kid. So it's a nice blast from the past. It makes the bosses more relevant than kicking the ass of some unknown mummy or behemoth type enemy or whatever. So that was nice. And they seem to be following very much like the old DV format, when we actually had a lot of bosses. Well, actually,
it's just more stages, basically.
Yeah, more stages. It's like, how many did we get? Like, I should see that here.
I think there's like 7 or 8.
7 stages, it seems. At least when I'm counting the sprites on the banner.
No, from the news, it looks like there should be 8 currently.
Okay. And each of them is 3 stages each. All of them. Unfortunately, all of them are kind of face roll. For most players that have a decent roster, you're just gonna stomp through them. Like, there's literally your difficulty will be like. I think the most difficult boss is gonna be that fucking pumpkin, because he has 2 ads, and I'm using Vivi for my clears.
Yeah, it was certainly a bit annoying. I've at this point OTK'd everything with perfect score, but I used Neo Vision for Salus for that one, just because she has an AoE Ice LB, and then the
Yeah.
rest of the team was basically just buffing her and AoE AR chaining.
So I was actually, so when I realized what was happening, because I was like, oh no, my chain broke. Fuck, I didn't tap properly. So I restarted the battle like twice before I realized
You were
why.
using VV and thought, oh, I didn't time it properly on the unit that doesn't matter with timing.
No. So what I thought was maybe I sent in like Louise's LB at a wrong time or something, and she broke Vivi or something. I don't know.
With a
But
one hit.
yeah, I don't know. But then I realized I am an idiot, and so what I did was I actually chained and target swapped my Louise and Elena. Like first killed one of the stocks and then the other one. To actually be able for Vivi to full chain on the main boss. So there's that. That cost me definitely more time than it should because much weaker units can OTK this boss. So yeah. But it was
Anyway,
good. It was
so
good. A lot of flavor.
But yeah, I think, and like the early phase roll stages make it easy for like new or very lazy players to still get a lot of the milestone rewards if they want.
And they are definitely front loaded, and I also think they're a bit weak, to be honest. You don't get much.
Yeah, the main thing from them is the recipes for all the gear upgrades.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of the point.
Yeah, and the gear is decent. Like I know some people are saying it's really good, and it is, but for veterans, you're probably looking at better options.
I mean,
for
most
many
of it is like, I would say like 4 out of 5 score wise for veterans, and like there will definitely be times where most of these things are like best in slot, but not always.
Yeah, I mean, you have the super ribbon. That's super nice. That's always nice to have one of those or one more of those.
It doesn't do charm. I notice on this list compared to actual super ribbon, but it does do.
But that's why you have. But that's why you have Angie's STMR. So
yeah, but it also has like more defensive stats or more stats in general. That's probably. I would almost say that's like the weakest of these.
Yeah. No. You know what? I would say actually the head is the helmet is the weakest of these.
Maybe.
Because first of all,
maybe.
it's a helmet to begin with, right? It has relatively low attack because 60 attack is what you're looking to get on your head slot at least nowadays.
Wait,
right?
which one are you looking at? You're looking at the helmet with 55 attack.
Yeah, not the mask. The mask is a hat, so that's fine. But the helmet with 55 attack and a 50% true dual wield is kind of. I mean, it's nice if you need those 50% true dual wield, but you often don't. And
I mean, there will be times where it's the most efficient option, and having like a materia slot free or whatever will net you more attack than a higher helm. But I guess especially because in global we have the Crown of Will now. That's a lot more underwhelming.
Definitely.
But it's still okay.
Yeah, but still, many times you're just gonna have like Carlet's STMR beat this in power anyway, because units won't need to cap true dual wield. So yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I think for most units that like don't have 200% innate and can equip helms, this would beat Carlet's STMR. But that one definitely. The skull head is quite niche.
Yeah, and then the Dragon Staff too. The 180 magic staff with 50% equipment magic, that's actually probably not that relevant at all, unfortunately, because there's such a low magic stat. So
I think there's also an STMR that has this effect, but with a bit higher magic. I think it's Fina Sol's STMR.
Okay, yeah. And then you have the Seiryu attire. It's a clothes. That has 60 attack and has 50% true dual wield. That's pretty nice. 60 attack is very decent for clothes. It's what beats it really, apart from Sephiroth's STMR.
Seph's STMR, and now the Garb of Will is again going to be the big one now.
Of course. But still, like good.
Very solid.
I mean, it might be your number 3 item, right? When you're gearing for DV. We already talked about the super ribbon. Yeah.
Lupine Guard's an interesting one because it's, like, for other units it's not great, it's just 70 magic clothes, but for Reese, who we're going to get next week, it has a very important effect, which is that it lets her set the Fenrir field when evoking Fenrir, and that's a 25% dark amp physical, I believe.
Which is very nice for a certain unit that is very strong right now.
Someone who Sinzar is very fond of.
Someone who Sinzar is very fond of, and it's Hawkeye. It's Hawkeye, just so everyone knows
Yes,
who we're
of
talking
course.
about. Yeah, no, but so that's kind of like an item you need to have if you're going for Reese. You need to get this because it's very, very important for her.
Yeah.
And then finally, it's a Ruby Mask. So this is actually definitely a decent item. First of all, it's a hat, so many units can use it, and it has 60 attack, meaning it's paired, or it's on par with Carlet's STMR. But it has that juicy 50% true dual wield, sorry. So this will definitely... Oh wait, this is double hand? No.
Yeah, this is TDH.
No. It says armed with
never
two
mind.
one-handed weapons. Yeah.
Never mind. I just
This
thought I
is really-
remember... Like, the main thing is I know I've seen, like, Sinzar and stuff use this a lot in JP, and a lot of the time I thought that was on double hand units, but I guess it was just his highest attack one for those at the time.
Yeah, exactly. No, this is really good. Like, this is, I mean, again, it's a very high attack hat to begin with, and second, it does, like, for the units that can't cap true dual wield on their own, this is probably going to be best in slot.
Yeah.
So
I guess part of the reason I thought it was TJ is because, like, I wouldn't expect the Skullhead and Red Mask to both, like, be the same, but just have Red Mask just be better.
Yeah, but TDW seems to be like a theme because both the Skullhead, the Attire, and the Ruby Mask have TDW.
Well, it's because of Hawkeye, I suppose.
Yeah, it's kind of like you're putting two of these on Hawkeye. I don't think Hawkeye can use helmets. I'm not sure, but
yeah, you're like. Obviously, you can't use both hats at once, but also in the clothes slot, Hawkeye wants his own TMR anyway for the flat attack. So,
yeah, true. And also, you're not
Red
using
Mask,
helmets on Hawkeye. He can't use helmets.
Ruby Mask is the only one that Hawkeye would actually want.
Yeah.
Anyway.
But definitely, like, pick this gear up, right? So how much grinding are we looking at here, Dream?
It's honestly not a ton, I don't think. Oh, the one final one is Fairy's Guidance, aka Adventurer 6. And that's, I think, pretty much all you need to know.
Yeah, but
it does also
mana
have
units
HP
only,
and
right?
MP, actually. Oh, yeah.
But it's mana units
I only
only.
just saw that. So actually, yeah, that's pretty useless.
I mean, you're probably not putting this on anyone. I'm sorry.
Because if it wasn't mana only, having both the HP and the defense and spirit would actually make it an excellent tankist.
Yeah,
or tank
it
material.
would.
But it's mana only. Garbage.
Maybe we're getting like a mana tank. Like maybe we're getting Flammy. And yeah, no, we're not. Okay. But here's the thing. So all of these different... So all of the different late... So what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to farm the last stage boss of every encounter, right? Because they drop different mats for these items. And you're supposed to farm them a couple of times. So you said it's not bad. I haven't actually looked at the numbers yet, and I'm probably going to cry when I see it.
The stage you actually want to farm, for the most part, is Zabelfar, the like final stage, because he has he drops a random one each clear and has slightly better like efficiency than all the individual ones.
You should.
You can
you should probably farm that until you have like your first item. And then you should look at if it's not more efficient to just do them one by one, kind of.
Yeah, or like you can also use the leftover Brave insignias for crafting like the ones that you have less of. If you want. But so yeah, like I think the base amount of currency you get is 60 per run of Zabelfur, and you can increase that a bunch with bonus units. So like I think I'm currently getting about 500 per run. And I think each of these items needs like 3,000 or 4,000 to fully upgrade.
Yeah.
So it's a bit of farming, but it's still doable in like a week.
Yeah, it's like I just need to sit down with a good show that I don't have to watch constantly and just rip this one off. Because I'm gonna be honest, right now, like none of these items is a huge must except the Lupine Guard for Reese. So if I'm super lazy, I'm just going to get that in case I shitter her.
Well, the thing is, once you've got your score clears, like, Zabelfire is an expensive stage energy-wise, it's like 50 per run. So if you're not using energy pots and like sprinting through it, you can just do like 2 clears in the morning and in the evening or whatever.
That's true. Keep doing that, and then you're gonna reach it at some point. Yeah, that's true. That's true.
And those clears are quick, so.
But yeah, so definitely like don't sleep on this gear. Like I might make a conscious choice of just not being able to farm it, but don't sleep on it. A lot of it might be best in slot for you from time to time.
Also, the materials that you use to craft the gear, they're all also actually consumables, and some of them actually have like somewhat unique and useful effects that you might want to have some around for.
Oh yeah? What's that?
But I think the main one is Duelist Tag, is an AoE Dark Imbue on a consumable item, so that's interesting. But there's also like an AoE attack buff one, and I don't know the actual percentages on some of them.
I definitely need a couple of hundred of the Duelist Tag then, because that's it's just nice. I mean, you might be wanting to squeeze in an imbuer and you can't, so like, and you don't have bulwark, so yeah, that's actually also pretty decent.
As long as you at least get all the recipes for them, they can just be crafted with the Joint Forces insignias, and those will come back anytime we get a future collab. So.
Yeah, but it's like that's a much bigger grind, though.
Yeah, it's like you definitely. There's a safety net, basically.
Yeah.
But also, the future collabs will probably also be Vision Worlds, which will have the same kind of level of drops of Joint Forces ones.
Right. Okay, so have we gone over everything?
I think we have kind of exhausted it at this point. Oh, I guess the one thing is, like, all of the stages except one of the Vision World are out currently and are pretty, like, they're not too hard to cap, so there's quite a lot of people at rank 1 right now. And then...
Yeah, I think Zabelfar is probably the only one you need to use your brain for, and that's still not super difficult.
But, next week we will get the final stage with Belladonna, and this one, like, we know we're getting in advance, and this is basically an uncappable stage, because, full 10 billion cap, high stats. But the interesting thing is, in JP, they were kind of sucker punched by this. It wasn't, like, known it was going to be there at first, and then a bunch of people started tying on rank 1, and Alan were like, oh no, we can't have a bunch of different people get this 200k lapis. Better add a new stage that is uncappable. Yeah. And it was very obvious, like, because the rest of the Vision World bosses have very, like, unique sprites, music, backgrounds, AIs and stuff. Right. Belton's very basic. It, like, reuses an old background and Mod King sprite and has, like, basic AI. So it was very clearly, like, not originally intended to be as part of it, but they pretended it was.
Yeah, you know what irks me a bit with these DV rewards? So, 200k lapis sounds amazing, right? But in order to get those 200k, you already are a whale.
Who's probably bought millions of lapis.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like, it's a nice bonus for a whale, right? They can go like pity a couple of times or something, but it's kind of not putting a dent in Gumi's income, really.
Right? I mean, that's always been the point of this kind of stuff. Like, even look at like Arena and Raids are like the same thing of there is not the payoff for the effort required, but the people that do this want the rank, not the rewards.
Exactly. Nobody cares about 200k lapis, or a whale wouldn't care too much about 200k lapis. They would care much more about the rank.
It's still a nice bonus, but yeah.
Definitely. I mean, 200k, that's like what? 4 pities at least?
Yeah, 4 or 5.
So that's decent.
Like,
but yeah, this is one of our... And this is like one of our longest episodes.
Yeah, we've gone into a fair amount of detail about this stuff, I think.
Yeah, we've been speedrunning episodes lately, but like, I think hey, listen, Dream, I think this is the effect of when you and me are in an episode, all right? Because when we're not, we get these 28-minute episodes, and they're brief, but, you and me, we're just... I just want to say we're like the geniuses of FFBE. So we have so much to talk about when it comes to the game, right?
I think it's created by like the level of contrast between the two of us.
Wait, is that like a hidden insult?
No, it's a blatant insult.
Yeah. No, but it's good. It's good. There was a lot to talk about though. Like Vision World was new, and there was a lot of complaining for me to do on Hawkeye because I'm so
Yeah.
sad to get an NV that I feel like, okay, I moogled him. Now what?
Yeah.
But it is what it is. It is what it is. All right. So I think that's it, right?
Yeah. Next week we will see Duran and Reese, and they will be similarly maybe interesting, maybe disappointing.
Yeah, I hope Reese. I am really
Reese is
hoping
more of a
for her.
utility unit, so I think she'll be fine. But
Yeah.
Duran
Yeah.
might
Definitely.
Duran will be getting the same treatment as Angela going from NVA to NV base, so we'll see whether they manage to make him good.
Yeah, so maybe like Reese is gonna be the troll rainbow, although she can't really be because with those clothes, she's just gonna be valuable for people in general.
And there's
But
also the
let's
thing
see.
that she will probably still be 5-star base. Maybe they'll, because she wasn't NVA, she was 5 to 7-star in GP. She doesn't have an NVA at all,
Okay.
so she might still be rainbow base.
Yeah, let's see.
But
Let's
we
hope.
don't know yet. Yeah, that'd
Let's
be nice.
hope. That would. I have a couple of
Then again,
those
actually,
things.
on-banner rainbow rates are like not much higher than on-banner NV rates. It's actually only like 1.5 versus 1%.
True. That is true, actually. Sad, but fucking true.
Yeah, sad but true.
All right, let's see what happens next week. So
See
that's
you
it,
then.
I guess. Yeah, come bucket.
Fuck.